All right, we are back at it with conversation convo combos. Rest in peace to damn, I feel bad that I don't remember the actor's name. From Black Panther, the main actor.
Oh, oh,
I'll search it up real
oh.
quick. I don't even care.
I was like, um, well, a lot of people just died like a couple months ago. Hulk
Hulk
Hogan.
Hogan just recently died. That was oof. That was like. I
Yeah.
mean, I had a feeling that was gonna happen. Uh, Chad. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman. Rest in peace,
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman. Played a beautiful, excellent role as the Black Panther. So rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. Preach out
Definitely.
to you. Um.
I think
So
this is part three.
yeah.
Part
Part
three
of relationships.
relationships.
So to go back on relationships, there was one relationship that I had that lasted a good decent amount of time, but it was like one of those like relationships that was like very like up and down. This chick that I dated, Kayla, and she was definitely like on the younger side, but like she was like mature for her age.
Is that the one that was friends with Gabby and?
No, this was y'all weren't like too accustomed with like this relationship. Johan knew. So the way that I was introduced to Kayla was through another chick, um, Vanya, that was I dated her, and then I guess her friend like saw me and stuff like that, and it was at a Puerto Rican parade. Remember how they always have that on the Elm Street, like
Oh
that
yeah.
big open park. Um, she was there with Vanya and um yeah, the relationship it was definitely like very like it was good for the most part, but like there was definitely like a lot of moments where it was just like I don't know how to like really feel about it because
Yeah.
like she was like still like like in that young age where it was just like I didn't really know like like where her mindset
Where
was
our
and stuff like that.
priorities were
Yeah,
and
her
stuff.
priority were and stuff like that, and we we definitely like we messed around. That was that was like the time that I kind of like also like I took her virginity and she actually took mine too, which was actually like crazy because I didn't even think that it would like kind of happen like that. It was just like kind of in the moment,
Yeah.
and yeah, it was I actually hit up Johan, and that's when I played that song. I
I
was like, I
just
just
had
had sex,
sex
and
and it
it
felt
felt
so
so good.
good.
And like Johan was just like, okay. I was like, yeah, you say okay now, but like I know deep down you were just like,
And
what the
then he did
fuck,
it
bro?
right back.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
did it. Well, I don't know if he did it to you, but he did it to us. He played that song.
see, he got that from me. He got that from me, motherfucker.
And
He
we
got
were
that shit
like,
from me. That's
we
why.
were like,
Because he
what
was
the?
just like, okay. And then he was probably just like, you know what? It was like, that's a pretty good idea. Let me go ahead and do that. But yeah, no, that relationship it lasted like a good amount of it lasted a lot longer than I anticipated. I just remember like the whole stem of it of how it started. I remember dating Vanya, but then she had like this other person that was like, like interested in her and she kind of like broke it off with me. And because also like I guess like a couple extra like complications and stuff like that. And I remember going to Walmart with my dad and I'm just like chilling and checking stuff out with my dad and stuff like that. And again, like you don't really think anything about yourself. You don't really like, like are over here trying to like dress to impress. You're not really over here like checking out your physique. So I'm just like over here chilling. And I just remember hearing in the background, I was like, that's Vanya's boyfriend, and I was just like, I looked over, I was like, what the fuck? And then I just like see like two white chicks like walking away, whatever, like that. I was like, what the fuck was that? And it was Kayla and her sister Natasha, which they both like pretty much look very alike, but obviously Natasha was the older one, which actually also ended up like hooking up with Natasha too. So actually, I hooked up with both of them.
Damn.
Yeah, I know. But it wasn't like back to back. It was more like I dated her for a great amount of time, and then like we had our differences, and it didn't work out, unfortunately. And then um, eventually I was like still kind of like talking to Kayla a little bit, but it wasn't like it wasn't.
Serious.
Yeah, it wasn't serious, and it wasn't ever really gonna get to that point because one of my um I wouldn't say even like close friend. I would say acquaintance because he was like around that like again like Latinos, no Latinos. So I don't know if you remember. Oh damn man, what's his name? He dated this chick named Des, and she had a sister named Michaela. Both of them like super chill.
Yeah.
Des, she was like a skinny mini, but like super fucking chill vibe. Like I'm talking about like oh my god, like her personality was like so adorable. Like she was just like super fucking chill. And then her younger sister was like a little bit on the same side, but like she was just like a little bit more like on like that ghetto side, whatever like that. Which I treated them like both like sisters. Like they were both chill, but I both also knew that like, they had like a significant other and stuff like that. Like I remember one time that like I was coming into school and shit like that at Central, and Des was like telling me like like her morning and shit like that, and I was just like damn, it's just like you haven't even had breakfast and you got dick first, and like yo, like at least like fucking brush your teeth or something like that. Like yo, you talking about you wake up and you getting dick straight up, like damn. And then I had to talk to my boy that like I was close friends with that she was dating. I was just like, bro, like, what the fuck? And he was just like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you know what the fuck I'm talking about? I'm like, yo, over here getting fucking pussy straight up. Like, well, straight up.
Right
Like,
now.
did you brush your teeth? Did you even wash down there? And I was like, cochino? Like, you didn't even do anything like that. And he just started cracking up. He was like, hey, he's like, I don't know what to say, man. And like, shit happened. And I'm like, yeah, shit does happen, huh? Shit does happen. Shit happens fucking at 6 o'clock in the fucking morning because I know what time I fucking woke up. But, nah, that relationship was chill. It wasn't like too bad. And, there was another chick that I dated, Nina, and she was also Puerto Rican, a little bit on the younger side, but she lived in Derry, and I didn't have a vehicle at the time, and she would always be like, saying like, oh, like when you're gonna get your license, when you're gonna do this and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, like I'm working on it. But back then, I was always like prolonging the inevitable. I kept on like putting it off, putting it off, putting it off. Um,
Well, you weren't the only one back then, because I mean, we have other members of our group that did that.
yeah, but like that relationship was either that relationship was like funny and also like good and bad because like she had like that Puerto Rican spice. She had like that attitude. I remember there was this one time. Oh my god, dude, there was this one fucking time because like she's always the one to give me attitude, so I gave right back to her. So she was having issues with her fan, like just one of those plug-in fans, whatever like that, and then you stand it up and
Yeah.
and I was over here trying to fix it, trying to get it going and stuff like that. She was like, "Oh, like, well, like it's fine, like just leave it, like it's okay." Then I looked at her, I'm like, "You want it fixed, right?" I'm like, "Okay then." And then I went back to her, and then she just gave me that look, and she gawked at me, and she was just like, "Get out." But like I knew she wasn't serious. But she was just like, get out, get out, get out. And I was just like, you said you wanted to fix, so that's what I'm doing. So why are you over here trying to give me attitude? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Sit your ass on your fucking bed and let me fucking fix this shit. Because like that's just how that that relationship was, whatever like that. So that was again, like I said, it was a funny relationship, and then there was another relationship. Do you remember Ghoulie?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, she was like skinny, and I think I forgot what national. I think she was Russian. She was
Yeah.
either Russian or like some type of like like Indian. But I know for a fact like she was like foreign,
Yeah.
and she had this like close friend Emily. Again, she was Spanish, and this chick Emily, like she I'll be honest, like she didn't like look like she wasn't like a top 10, but like she had like these like really like nice lips. Like she had like some like really nice lips, and best believe your boy took advantage of that. Not in that, unfortunately.
Brian's like, you got a purty mouth.
Unfortunately, it wasn't in like that aspect.
Oh, I'm glad.
As much as I can recall.
I'm glad my lips weren't beautiful in that second episode, because that would have been terrible.
Yeah, sure, dude. Nah, no, definitely no. Like I said, I'll roll that way. But there was one time at the movie theater that we were doing our thing and shit like that, and I remember there was there was two females that were like a couple seats down from us, and we were doing our thing, and then they were like saying like underneath their breath like, oh my god, like that's disgusting. I'm like, shut up, bitch. I'm like I know for a fact you wish your shit was getting dogged out right now the way this one's getting dogged out. Like don't even fucking like try to like kit and shit like that. Because you know for a fact you would love for a guy to be dogging you out right now in this movie theater, but you just complaining that you're like, oh, that's disgusting. And I'm like, yeah, but you wouldn't be thinking it's disgusting if another dude was doing it to you right then and there, bitch. So you can't even fucking say shit.
Yeah.
And then my relationship prior before the one that most recently ended, she was, I'm trying to remember her nationality. She was definitely black, but I'm trying to remember like specifically like what her nationality was. It wasn't Jamaican, but it was like I'm trying to remember specifically. But she was she worked at Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Wendy's on West Side?
Yes.
So when you're
Yes,
going
Second Street.
yeah, so like when you're going down Second Street and then before you reach the KFC,
It's on
then
the
you
right.
yeah. Oh no, it's on the left.
Left.
Yeah. If you're coming down that way, then yeah, it would be on the right. I remember it was like me, Eduardo, and his friend Jack, and I was just chilling in the back seat. And then I saw her, and I was just like, yo. I was just like, yo, like she again, like I saw those lips, and she like that. I was like, damn, bro, like yo, she got some nice lips, and like she's pretty beautiful, and Eduardo was just like, yo, like you should holler at her, and I was just like, I don't know, and stuff like that. I was like, I don't know, and then he literally like pulled up to the window, and then we got our food, and then he pulled up a little bit more. I'm like, what are you doing?
He likes your lips.
He pulled up a little bit, and I was just like, what are you doing? What's going on? He's like, yo, you're gonna go talk to. You're gonna talk to. You're gonna get the phone number, and small world. The person that was doing like the drive-through, I knew her from elementary school. And I was just like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And stuff like that and everything. And then Eduardo was just like, hey, my boy in the back, he's like, he thinks your girl over there that's doing the voice in the drive-through, he thinks that she's like, pretty cute and stuff like that. He wanted to get her number. And the chick at the drive-through was just like, okay, let me see if I can go talk to her real quick. And then she came at the front and stuff like that, and I was able to see like full blown her and stuff like that. And she was like, hi, and like everything like that. And we were talking. Her name was like her name was Sherma. And I always be thinking like these females with like interesting ass names. And it's just like, what the fuck, dude? It's just like trying to pronunciate that. It's just like, bruh. But regardless, um, that relationship was one of my second longest ones because my longest one was my most recent one. The one after or prior before that was what I consider the longest, and then the one prior before that was the one that we know, Paige, which
Yeah.
Paige was at that time when I was going through that. That was my longest relationship. But yeah, she lived at pretty damn close, in like one of those types of complexes, Lincoln. So
Okay.
right across from Stop and Shop, well, used to be Stop and Shop, now it's Price Right.
Yeah.
She lived like pretty much like right across from it. And she also went to college, and that was the huge. I never experienced that, so I didn't know how it was to be dating a female that still goes to college, especially has a dorm, and then going to those college parties. I didn't know what the fuck I was in for. I just remember receiving a text message, and it turns out it wasn't even her that sent the text message. It was her friend, and her friend was just like, "Oh, like like you have a boyfriend and stuff like that," and she's like, "Yeah, but like he lives like like a little far away and stuff like that." It's like, "Well, you should ask him to come down," and she was like, "No, no," it's like, "I don't like that's too much trouble," and shit like that. She was like, "Give me your phone," and then she took her phone, and then I thought it was her at the time, and then texted me this. It's like, "Oh well, you should come down. I really want to see you and stuff like that." And she was like, "Please, please," and I was just like, that was the time when I was driving. It was a Vigo that I got off of Eduardo. Now keep in mind, dude, this bitch would, if you hit a bump, I guess you know how you have those for the battery. You had the two connectors. You
Yeah.
have the positive and negative.
Hmm.
I believe it was. I think it was either the. Yeah, no, it was the negative that kept on popping out, which is the most important one. Because if you take out the negative, then it pretty much like makes it like obsolete. Like it's gonna turn off the whole thing. But if you take out the positive, it's still gonna have that negative juice, so it could still kind of keep it going. And every time it hit a bump, I had to literally I couldn't pull the vehicle over because it would automatically stop. So I had to turn on the hazards, pop open the hood, and then, you know,
Put it on the
finagle it
timer
and push it
down. Yeah.
back in so that way it would stay on hold. And I was driving down that bitch with fucking that vehicle. And keep in mind, it was dark and it was raining. And I was just like, the only thing on my mind was like, bro, like just get there, like you got this. And keep in mind, I don't like highways. At that time, I didn't like highways because I was accustomed to that because of my pops. My pops never liked going on highways.
It's
Like
probably
didn't
good because if
did,
that
did
would have
didn't
happened on
exist.
the highway,
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I was just like, bruh, I never. But I did go on the highway for a little bit, but then I finally like drifted off and gone on the exit that I needed and stuff like that. And I finally got there, and she was in disbelief. Sherman, she was in like disbelief. She was like, oh my god, like you actually came down here. She's like, I didn't expect that to happen. I'm like, well, what do you mean? Like you texted me and you said you wanted me to come down, and she was like, oh yeah, about that. And I was like, oh, okay, about what? Like, well, what do you mean? It's like that actually wasn't me. That was one of my friends. I'm like, oh, so you don't want me to come? It's like, no, I'm happy that you're here. I'm in disbelief. I just didn't think it was gonna happen. I'm like, well, I'm here. So what we got going on? Like, what's the story? And she was just like, well, there's a couple of college parties and stuff like that going on. So we're gonna head over there. I'm like, all right, like take me around and show me around and stuff like that. Campus was pretty. It was a decent size. I'm not gonna lie to you.
yeah,
Like it was decent size. It was definitely one of those types of college campuses that you had like all those different type of like fraternities and stuff like that. And I was
yeah,
just like, holy shit, bro! They got the whole shebang. And then they had a little plaza that was actually also near the campus where it had the like Chinese food, Domino's, Subways, and stuff like that, which was pretty good because I think they kind of took that into perspective. Like you got these college kids, you already know they're gonna get drunk and shit like that. So you know what, might as well make some money off of them, and when they get their munchies, they're gonna come over here.
Yeah, was
Um,
that was in New Hampshire?
yeah, it was in New Hampshire. I'm trying to remember exactly. I think it was
Wasn't the one right off the highway?
yeah. It was a little bit off the highway. It was SNU, but it wasn't SNU obviously in Manchester because obviously they have like little small SNU building inside. Not inside, but like when you're going down past Elm Street and then you keep on going straight and you're going to the west side. That big like brick building. This one was also named SNU, but it was like its own separate like area or
Yeah.
stuff, whatever like that. But yeah, that one was it was nice while it lasted, but like that breakup was weird because it was just like 1 minute she was saying that like oh like do you like do you really want to break it off or like like are you sure about it or whatever like that. And when I was like the last time we hung out and stuff like that, it was like weird because it was just like I don't know, you could definitely tell there was tension, but at the same time it was just like you didn't know like what to like go about it about, what I'm saying? Like you didn't know if like, if it was still in a relationship type of sequence or if it was like pretty much like over and done with. And then after we hung out for that last time and then I messaged her I messaged her the day right after and I was like saying like, hey, like good morning, beautiful and stuff like that. And she was just like, oh, like, why are you texting me? And I was just like, oh, like what do you mean like why am I texting you? Like, I thought, I I thought like, the other day we were hanging out and stuff like that and, everything was, good. And she's like, yeah, no, I'm pretty much all set. Like I'm not like trying to be with you, whatever like that. And then she had the audacity to say like, oh, like I'll return, all the stuff that you gave me and stuff like that. And I just replied back. I'm like, no, you're all set. And I put a thumbs up emoji. And I was like, no, you can keep whatever the fuck I got you. All the clothing, my shirts that I gave you and stuff like that. Like, no, you can go ahead and keep that. Like, I'm all set. I can buy new shirts. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make it like awkward or whatever like that. So, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my story. If you wanna.
Um, I would say my story being you remember Pinky.
Frankie.
This is the
Yes.
one that you were talking about in the first part.
Yeah.
Pinky, as they call her. Basically, I was hanging out. Like Matt had asked me to hang out or go somewhere, and um, he said, "Oh, like you come hang out with me and like this girl Christy and this other girl," and then um, Ray ended up going, and then it was like apparently like Ray already knew who she was, and Matt already knew who she was, and I was like, how do you all? We're talking about Ray, who like doesn't talk to anybody, and was like, he talked about he lived in Florida and like he moved here and he started going to middle school here and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden he knows us. So I'm like, I don't know, something seems weird, but I'm like, whatever. I'm like, so we go and hang out, and then I mean, next thing I know, me and her are hanging out a little more, and we're like, she invites me over her house, and like, you know, I forget what the heck she like asked me for something, like she needed some money, and I gave her some money to like help her like fix. I can't even remember what the heck it was, but it was something. But then we started kind of talking. And I was telling her how like I was planning on moving. I wasn't gonna stay. I was gonna move down to North Carolina because my aunt has a house there. She's gonna let me rent it, and it's basically mine. My mom used to live in it, and I was like, I'm gonna move down there and get like a total fresh start, all new.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was trying to buy, and then she's like, "Oh, you're like that's good. Like you should should do it. It's a good start. You can, grow." And I said, "Well, I mean, did you want to go down?" I'm like, "We can." And she's like, "Oh yeah, sure. Like, I'll go with you. Why not?" And then I'm like, "Okay." So we started talking more and
Well,
more.
that was like after the cookout, right? The birthday cookout.
No.
Oh,
So we were chilling at her house and vibing, and I mean, same thing as like you described with too many names at this point.
I know.
But she was wearing very revealing clothing, and like, you know, I'm sitting there and I'm looking down, like fucking ass out, fucking like
Yeah.
cleavage out, and like, the cooch almost showing. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I'm like, are you? What's the point of these women wearing clothes at that point?
Yeah.
I'm like, but I was like, okay, whatever. And then I had talked to her dad and her mom kind of a little bit, and like got to know them. They got to know me, and then um, they were like, "Oh, we heard like our daughter had said that she was gonna go to North Carolina with you, and um, my worry is just you're gonna take her down there, and then what? What happens if you like decide it doesn't work out, or you're just gonna make her figure out her own way home, and you're just gonna like leave?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "I wouldn't do that. Like, if it didn't work out, then she would stay until we saved up enough money to get her plane ticket to come back home."
Yeah.
But I'm like, it wouldn't. But anyways, so then after I had that talk with her parents, I was like, okay, like I'm getting this vibe that like she already talked to about moving in with me with her parents, stuff like that. So at this point we're probably like we got to be something. Like, you
Yeah.
don't just move in with a dude, random dude, and talk to your parents about this dude. Like, "Hey, I'm moving in with this random dude." Like, no, I mean, but so we started talking more, and she was like, "Oh well, you know, we could like try things out and see how it goes, and go from there." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I'm like, "That's fine." But to me, like, try things out is like we could try out being a thing, being a relationship, and if it
Yeah.
doesn't work, it doesn't work. So I'm optimistic. I'm like, yeah, sure, let's
Give it a try.
give it a try, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But in her mind, it was, we could give us a try as friends,
Mm.
and I can move down and be your friend. And then it was like, okay. And then um, she was telling people, I guess, that like she was telling people that she was like my friend, that there was nothing between us. And I'm thinking this whole time, like, oh, we're trying this out. And then the cookout happens.
Oh, okay.
And so I'm like, okay. And then I was telling Matt, because Matt had come over and we had the cookout. We were having chill time.
And then Timmy.
Then Timmy came over with his girl, or not his girl, it was his friend,
Was it?
which everybody for some reason wanted to bone. I don't know what the fuck.
Oh, Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah,
Everybody
because
wanted to hump that
the
shit.
thing is, it was just like she pulled off that type of vibe. Like she was very flirtatious and stuff like that, which I thought like something was gonna. I'm
I mean-
like dude, like she was like definitely like giving me those types of vibes. I'm talking about like she was like literally like backing it up against me and shit like that in Ray's bathroom and shit like that. And that's when Ray was just like, "What the fuck are you guys doing? Like what's going on?" I was just like, dude, I'm trying to fucking like grab this, and she over here like backing it up into me and stuff like that, and she was just like, "No, I'm not." I was like, "I'm just trying to do this and
Yeah,
stuff
like
like
shit
that."
was already getting a little crazy.
I was just like, bro,
And
and
so-
then that shit that was written on the wall too. Oof.
No. Wrong time. Wrong time.
Oh, it
That's
was.
the wrong person.
Oh, okay.
Wrong person. But yeah, well, so now you gave them a little bit, so now they gotta stay until later in the video to find out about that, or later in the podcast. But Yeah, so then I was like, right there, me and Ray knew like shit was getting a little too wild. So he was like, dude, they gotta be outside. They're not sleeping in here. And I
Yeah,
was like, that's fine. That makes sense.
because we were at least 5 people deep,
So
five or 8 people
we
deep.
were like 8 people deep.
Yeah, eight
And
people deep.
then it was like, I told Tyler and Sarah, I said, y'all gonna have to sleep outside because y'all were just supposed to come for the cookout. Y'all weren't supposed to stay. Like, I didn't realize y'all were gonna stay. And then Ray said no. His grandma said no. No extra people. It was just, she only wants me here. She doesn't even want Matt here, but, Ray said that he'll, take the blame and let Matt stay because at the time his dad lived in Londonderry
Yeah.
and he didn't want to call his dad and have his dad have to come all the way back. So, long story short, Matt stayed, I stayed, and then Chrissy showed up. So then we had me, Ray, you. So that's three, and then Tyler, Sarah, um, Chrissy, and then who else was there?
I know Johan, he popped in, but
Johan popped
then
in,
he
and
left.
then he left, and then
What?
Dwayne and
But
Derek showed up.
yeah, because I believe it was first Dwayne. No, no. First it was Derek,
Yeah,
and then I said what's up to Derek and stuff like that, and he's just like, oh yeah, no, like I'm just chilling and shit like that, and I heard like or I saw y'all like having like a little thing, so I didn't know what was going on. I was like, yeah, I mean at that moment I was like already intoxicated. I was like,
like
yeah,
come
bro,
grab
like
some food.
if yeah, if you want some food or if you want to have a drink, he's like, all right, it's like yeah, I'll probably like yeah have like something to eat and then have a drink, whatever like that. But like I do have to like meet up with someone. Like all right, yeah, I'm like nah, fine. Like I respect that, but like at least like eat something or whatever like that. And he's like all right, word. And we were just chilling and talking. But then Dwayne came out, and that's when it was just like dude, like what the fuck. And then that's when he said that shit. It was like so weird because it was just like I don't even know if he was already intoxicated or if he was high. I can never tell because he
Probably
always seemed
high
high.
because he was always over. He was always like he'd end up over at whose house was it?
Oh,
Ex Chris
Chris
Taylor's,
Taylor's,
which is
yes,
right next door, and it was
yeah.
like that's where Jahan was.
That was the hot spot. Always, it
Yeah,
was always yes, yeah, yeah.
and so it was like he came over and he's like, you know, like I heard y'all got jumped and your boy Mike got hit and y'all didn't do shit about it, and it was like, really, dude? Like, this is what you showed? You showed up to a cookout to talk about shit that went
And
down
then
a
he started
while,
like flirting
and then
with
flirting with
Sarah
Sarah.
and shit like that, and I was just like, dude,
And it
like
wasn't
what the
even
fuck?
like discreet. He was kind of like being overly excessive. And then I remember he was like, "Oh, like she doesn't want you. Like she clearly doesn't want you. Like why
Yeah,
would you?" And it was like, dude, like you don't even belong here. Like get out of here. Like no one invited you. Like bye. Like you need to move on. Like it's like it doesn't. There was no invitation in your mailbox. You don't even have a mailbox. You broke asshole.
yeah,
Like get out of here. Like all you do is instigate and cause problems.
yeah.
Like and after that, it was like that's when like I said, shit was getting a little wild, and we were like, okay, like Johan showed up, Dwayne, and then he left, and Dwayne and Derek showed up. Well, Derek and then Dwayne, and then it was just like okay, and then things were getting a little rowdy, like you know. Everybody's getting a little more intoxicated and loosey goosey.
Yeah, people like were
Chrissy's
like not knocking
intoxicated.
stuff over and
Matt's
like people.
intoxicated. Matt was like doing his monster
Oh,
alcohol thing.
he did do Monster that day.
Oh yeah, he did monster
Oh
that day,
shit!
and
I actually, what am I saying? He always does
and
Monster.
then he did it the other cookout that we did after that,
Yeah,
which
because
ties
yeah,
in.
because that was when
Yeah,
Liz
Liz came,
yeah, Liz came
and
and
then
he was
he
just
was doing it to get her like
riled up
upset.
and stuff like that. And I was just like, dude, oh my god, see, that's again, that's another I wouldn't even that wasn't even a relationship. That was just like a hookup, and I didn't even think that shit wasn't even
No,
gonna happen.
they had a relationship because they went out for a while.
You know what
He
I'm
was
saying?
going
Like
over her
between
house.
me and Liz.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Me and Liz hooked up, and like I said, I wasn't even like, I didn't even think it was gonna happen because she has like that type of persona, like she has like such a chill vibe, and she's like such a nerd for like gaming and like Pokemon and stuff like that. So it instantly like clicked off, and then the place that she lived at, oh my god, like
It's
it was a
gorgeous.
troop getting down there, but like it was worth it because like the house that she lived at, it was like, yo, like this is your house, and
Mm-hmm.
she's like, yeah.
Well, because
I
her
was like,
dad
where the fuck is your bedroom? And then you would have to go up the stairs, take a
down the
left
hall.
down
Yeah.
here, go down the hall, and then you go up. I'm like, dude, like what the fuck? Like, y'all live in a fucking mansion.
Yeah. Because what I heard was that her dad worked for the government. Like, not like, like we work for the government, but like a little like higher up.
Yeah,
Like he
higher
works
up.
for the government.
And
And
she had, I believe she had like one or two dogs,
yeah.
because I remember that like she was like telling her mom, was like, mom's like, I'm hungry, and her mom was just like, well, like, what do you want? And she was like, I want pizza. And her mom was like, well, like, what do you want me to order? Because like we don't have obviously pizza at the house. And she's like, she told her the place or whatever like that. And then best believe like a couple minutes later, because during that time of the duration of the pizza getting delivered, me and her, we played Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm, I think like the second or third one.
Hmm.
And I let her win a couple rounds because I was just like biased, because she's one of those types of people that like if she lose, she's gonna be like, oh, like what the fuck, and she would get pissed off. I was like, all right, let me let her win a couple rounds, because like if you play me in that game, bro, like dude, after this podcast, I'll give you the sticks, bro, because like, bro, I got that shit like down to, it doesn't matter what controller you give me, because I know it like muscle memory, and I had to learn from fighting you, fighting, especially fighting Johan,
Johan,
because
yeah.
Johan was like, that was his bread and butter. And then he finally like Tom was like, oh well, you can use your chakra to like dive towards the person and then continuously do chains from your combos. And I was just like, oh, I'm like, well, what about the directionals and stuff like that? Like the directionals don't matter unless you're
Yeah.
trying to put the person down, or if you're trying to kick them up and then you keep the combo going. I was like, oh, okay. And there was one time that me and Johan, we were fighting in Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Shippuden. I believe it was the third one, and he was Sasuke with the black, and I
Hmm.
was Kakashi young, and we were just going back like Chidori, Chidori, and like just like flipping over each other and shit like that, throwing kunais. It collided. It looked like a straight up anime, bro. And I was just like, dude, I can't believe this is happening right now. But this took place at my crib, and my dad had like that 3D fucking 4K HD TV, so we were like had the best of the works with it, and there was no reason for any type of glitches, whatever, and we were just going back at it and stuff like that, and I was just like, dude, like this shit's looking like anime, and we were like going back at it, and I beat him. I was just like, holy shit, bro. I'm like, dude, that shit was crazy. I was just like, dude, I can't believe that. I'm like, dude, the amount of Chidoris we did upon each other is like, it was stupendous. And then when I did the fourth Hokage Minato,
Hmm.
there was one time that he picked Sasuke. I believe it was like when he was with the white robe or whatever like that, and he tried to do his ultimate jutsu, like literally like Minato, like he did one of these bitches, and it was crazy because you cannot recreate this. He did like a thunder shock to the ground, and then Minato was like literally like hop skipped it, and then I teleported right in front of him, and he's just like, oh, okay, all right, so fuck me, right? Because it was just like literally like just and like damn, dude, like holy shit. He was like, yeah, he was like Minato's no fucking joke. He's like, fuck you. He's like, I call bullshit on that. I'm like, you can't call bullshit on that. I'm whooping your ass. But yeah. To go back to what you were saying with the story.
Yeah, so I mean, it was just getting hectic. They got told like, "Hey, y'all gotta like sleep out in the tent." We were on the assumption Christy was gonna go home, and Tyler and Sarah were gonna sleep in the tent and leave the next morning. And so we were like,
Mm-mm.
okay. And then we were like, and then when everybody wakes up in the house, we'll go out, wake them up, and then it'll be
Yeah.
all good. That is not what happened at all.
And I
So,
wasn't there, so
so after you went home, everybody went to bed. Well, first thing me and Ray woke up to, first thing in the morning was like at 6. It was like 6 something. No, it was like 7 a.m.
damn.
And
I didn't know
they
you guys
were
woke up that early.
not willingly.
I know.
They freaking came in the house. They were like using the bread and they were like making themselves sandwiches and stuff like that. And then I was like, what the hell is going on? Next thing I know, Ray's grandma comes out and she's like, and then I just see her eyes like narrow, like she's like, these motherfuckers, like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go get my fucking my flip flop and beat the shit out of them, slap the shit out of them. I'm like, oh fuck. And then sure enough, I hear her
She was
yelling,
about to grab the
cussing.
we call it the chancleta.
Yeah, and not for us,
Yeah.
for Ray.
Yeah.
And next thing I know, I hear freaking her yelling, like yelling. And then I hear Ray get up, and then he starts like he's not yelling, but he's like talking to her, like, and then he comes down and he's like, "Dude, what the fuck is going on?" And they're going in and out of the bathroom, closing the door, open the door. You hear like, dude, you know his door isn't all that quiet, but yeah. And it's like, and then, yep, exactly. And then they're like making themselves sandwiches, like Tyler and Sarah, and then they're like, "Oh, we just want a toast or like a sandwich, dude. I'm hungry or we're hungry." And he's like, "Dude, you can't just come in someone's house and just start like taking their food and eating it and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
and you can't come in and like start using someone's bathroom. Like, y'all weren't even supposed to be here. Like, I convinced her to let you sleep out in the tent. Like, y'all were supposed to go home. You know, Chrissy, you weren't even supposed to be here at all. Like, and then freaking the only person who was supposed to be here was Mike and then Matt because I said I would take the blame for him.
Yeah.
But none of this was else was supposed to happen. And then freaking next thing I know, so they left. Tyler and Sarah left, and they went home.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
wasn't Pinky was also with them?
yeah,
Cause,
well,
cause yeah,
she was there. That's what I was saying.
yeah.
Like he was like Chrissy was supposed to go home
Oh yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
he
yeah,
was
yeah,
like
yeah.
Tyler and Sarah, you guys were supposed to go home. Tyler was supposed to drive you home, Sarah, or wherever the hell you were
Yeah.
to the moon. Who the fuck cares? And then Pinky, you were supposed to go home. You didn't go home. And then y'all are in here in the house, da 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 da. And then so no one thought anything about the situation. We were like, just obnoxious, privileged, freaking, you know, people, But so get ready, days go by, weeks go by, and then I'm like, okay. And then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna like we're getting ready to move and we get our luggage ready. And I mean, Pinky's got like a big suitcase that's like packed out. She's got a carry-on bag that's like overpacked as well. We
Jesus.
get to the airport, this shit's like overpacked. They're like, that's not gonna fit in the over thing. And then they're like, and this isn't gonna fit below the plate. It's got to be a certain size, weight, and all that. They
Yeah.
measure it and they weigh it. They're like, you're gonna have to check these. And so, and it's $40 a bag. So you're talking first bag's free. So okay, one's free, and then obviously the other one's $40. So I pay $40 for her bag, and then um, my aunt's like, why'd you have to pay for it? Like, you're moving. Like, you don't, you just got out of like high school like not too long ago. It's like, how do you don't have furniture, you don't have like,
Yeah.
you know, an establishment of like a million things. Like, you gotta understand, this is an opportunity of a lifetime where you get to start new, you get to move into a house. Like, why would you pack that much stuff?
Yeah.
And so they're, I mean, they're kind of grilling all my like, not my uncle and my Kevin and stuff weren't grilling her, but like Caitlin, Kristen, Kendra are all talking to her like, hey, like kind of grilling her like they did with you. That's why I say don't take offense to it, because they do it. They do it to everybody,
Yeah.
male, female. They don't care. Like,
I understand.
so. Long story short, I mean, they talked to her a bit, and then me and her get talking, and then we're like, it's warm. It's warm out. This was like summertime. It's like July, and so all of us are in the pool having a good time. And then me and her in the pool, we get out, and they're like, "Oh, if you want to go in the jacuzzi, go ahead. It's warmed up, like it's ready. Like, we're gonna have beers and chill and whatever." And so they're like, "Did you want a beer, Mike?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then they gave me a beer, and I'm chilling out and whatever. And then me and her in the hot tub, and then we're like, "Oh, like," I'm like, "I'm tired. Like, I'm gonna go upstairs and then probably lay down." And then my aunt's like, "Oh yeah, like let me show you where y'all's room is." And then she's like, "So this is your room?" And she's like, "Oh, we're so like this is both of our rooms?" And she's like, "Yeah, that's both of y'all's rooms." Like, my aunt's trying to figure out like what the fuck she talking about. And then I guess after that, when I had left, she was telling my aunt like, "Oh, we're not like, we're just friends. We're not like together." And she's like, "So you just met you just met this kid, like you just met my nephew like a few months ago, like 3 4 months ago, you're saying, or whatever, and you're saying that you're friends, and you decided that it was a great idea to move down to a state that you don't know
Bruh.
with someone that you've only known for a few months, or a handful of months, and you are just friends. There's no like, you didn't, meet a couple months, then you started to get a little spark and you're dating, and then you're like, yeah, we'll move in together, see how each other does. If we can tolerate each other living together, then maybe we can grow. Like, you're friends. That's what you're telling me. And then she's like, yeah. And then she went around telling them all that, like Caitlin, Kristen, all of them, saying like, oh yeah, we're friends. Like, we hang out. We like a lot of things, similar things. Da, 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 da. And they're like, what? And then I found that out after.
Oh, jeez.
So they didn't tell me till after. The spiel that I'm about to talk about that Matt told me, I didn't find out till after. Nobody told me anything until after shit was already like in motion, already happened. Like, you want to talk about like gut wrenching, like stab, like it was just like
They pretty much waited until you were pretty much like away
already
from them and stuff
like
like
I already
that.
had my head in
So
the
let's
gavel.
let's go ahead and tell him now.
Yeah, basically. So I was like, okay, well, we got into our own place, and they're like, oh, you can like, we got you a job at Food Line. You could work with David, which is Kristen's husband.
Mm.
And you could work with him, and like he'll like kind of show you the ropes, and then he'll get you established. Then he can transfer you to the store over by the house that we got for you. I'm like, okay, that works. And so I started doing that, and we're hanging out, we're chilling for a while at at my aunt's, swimming, jacuzzi, and then stuff happens where shit happened, and so me and her did our business, and so at that point you're like, okay, now it's
Yeah.
You're in a relationship or you're friends with benefits. You got to choose one at this point. And I don't think she realized it was like I definitely wasn't looking for friends with benefits. I made that very clear. I was like, yeah, like I'm looking to like,
Settle down
I'm settled
and
down and meet someone and I'm like moving down to North Carolina to get a new fresh start.
yeah.
And she was like, "Oh yeah, that's fine. Like I get it, and we could try it out and see how it does and whatever." And then she goes telling my aunt and cousins that stuff that I don't know about yet.
Yeah.
Then we do our thing, and I'm like, "Oh shit! Like, okay, this is working out. Like she's starting to feel it now. We're, you know."
Yeah.
And then we get in our own like we get in the house, and it happens a couple more times, and I'm like, "Oh okay, like this is the normal. This is the normal thing where you like, you actually establish a relationship, live together, and you can, have your own privacy and all that. Like, and then I get a phone call, and I'm like, okay, and it's Matt, and I'm like, Matt never calls me. I'm like, why is he calling me? And I pick up the phone, and it's Matt and Liz, and they're like, Mike, we just wanted to tell you this before you get too invested in it. I'm like, in the moment, I'm thinking to myself, like, what the fuck are they talking about? And now that I look back on it, I'm like,
Yeah.
you assholes. Like, I'm glad you told me, and I'm grateful, but y'all are like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
Should have told me about the get
before
go.
you get invested, how much more invested can you get at
Moving
that
down
point?
there
Moving down, moving in a house with the person, getting like sexual and like establishing like feelings, and then you're like, oh, before you get invested,
yeah.
it's like, and then they were like, well, remember that night that Tyler and Sarah and Chrissy stayed over and they were in the tent? Well, they had a three-way, and I was like, what? I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I I think that might be possible because now that you mention it, and it was all clicking, like you said, the puzzle pieces coming together and fitting. I'm like, she didn't leave, and they were in the tent outside. Two girls. What? One's gonna either you own up and admit to it, or the other one's a whore.
Yeah.
Like there's one of you, like you said, where it's like I'm not gonna be the one that's dumb. Either you're gonna tell me that she's lying and she's a bitch, or other way around, and you're gonna be the bitch.
Yeah.
And so it's like, who's telling the truth? So I immediately called up my boy Tyler. I said, hey, listen, I'm like, I heard apparently you were in the tent with Sarah and got it on, and then Chrissy got involved, and it became a three-way. And he's like, no, it was just me and Sarah. I'm like, look, come on. I'm like, Tyler, let's be honest. You get it on with the girl in the tent, and the other girl sits by, and you don't like
Yeah.
accept it. I'm like,
like, dude, like for me, like I mean, speaking from a guy's perspective,
like
for
you
me,
got two
like
girls
dude,
that come to
that
you,
that
like,
that only happened to me once, bro, and that only happened to me once, and like first of all, like they were already sending me pictures, like talking about like full blown like everything and stuff like that. And the only thing that the chick wanted, I was originally supposed to just go over there and drop off cigarettes. I was just supposed to drop off cigarettes, and I went over there and I knew the objective. I dropped off cigarettes. The next show, they were giving me one of these, and I was like, okay, like what the fuck is going on? The next show, they're both there and stuff like that. I already got the pictures, so it's like I had a good idea, and I was just like, is this really happening right now? I'm like, okay. I'm like, like granted, it's not like the best beautiful one, but I'm not gonna turn down the threesome. But it's the same type of aspect. Like a guy's
Yeah.
never gonna turn down a threesome. Like
Exactly.
never. And the fucked up thing is like doesn't even matter if it's one of your boys' girl, whatever like that, and she's feeling flirtatious or she's intoxicated and stuff like that. A guy's never gonna turn down a threesome unless like he has like great like
Connection with you.
high loyalty to his boy. Like if I was like doing my thing and then like one year like your significant other whatever like that was in the ground, I was like, hold on, like what the fuck is going on right now? Like no, we ain't doing that. Like you can leave. Like why the fuck are you here?
Like, get out.
It's
Like,
just like you can stay, but why the fuck are you here?
yeah.
You need to get the fuck out. Like
Exactly.
I'm not trying
Which
to do
is
that.
why it made me even more mad because I was like, bro, I'm like, you gotta be honest with me. For one, because you owe it to me because of all the years that we have together. I'm like, you're talking back from like just about elementary school. I've
Yeah.
known you. And you're like, what? I'm like, and then and this man started crying and telling me, like, yeah, it's true. Like, yeah, I didn't want to do it, but like, you know, I was already like doing it. And then she came on to me and I was like already in the mood and and I said, yeah, but like, doesn't it like bother you that like you've known this a person for like countless years and then you just throw it away just because
I mean, was he intoxicated?
a girl comes on you?
Did he have a good amount of
Yeah,
drinks?
they were intoxicated.
But I mean, like I guess in regardless, yes,
But
regardless.
still,
But
you
yeah,
have
yeah,
the
exactly. Still, but what I'm saying is that like if a male's mind, especially when we're intoxicated, we're willing to like pretty much like hook up with anyone, whatever, like that, regardless of the unfortunately the situations. But like if you have some type of like some sort of like loyalty and clarity, what I'm saying, like you could be laying down with the chick, and then next like your boy's chick comes in, and then you recognize. First of all, you should already automatically recognize the chick. First of
right.
all, what I'm saying, like you recognize it and stuff like that, and then you're just like,
What
this
are
is
you
nice and
doing?
all, but wait a minute, hold on, weren't you just aren't you with my boy?
Yeah,
Aren't you with Mike? It's like, oh, like, well, I don't care about that. I'm like, oh, okay, like, that's fine that you're okay with it, but like, I'm not too comfortable with this. Like again, you can stay. Like you're fine, but like I'm sorry, but you can't be here. Like I don't want to do this
yeah,
with you. I could do this with her because it's no holds bar. Even if she had a man, I don't know her man, so that's completely fine. That's on to her. Like you want to cheat on your man, and I don't know your man. Like it is what it is because
but I
you're
don't.
doing
Yeah,
that shit. But it's
it's
like,
like
but
I
I know
know
your
your
man.
man.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And I'm close friends with him, but I don't want to do that. So
yeah.
yeah,
And I mean, that's like if you were over freaking Eduardo's and you got tipsy and Kendra got tipsy and then you freaking ended up screwing Kendra.
yeah,
And it's like, no, you don't freaking do that.
yeah,
Like, and I mean, good thing in this is he's not with her, but I mean, that's besides the point. Like, there's I hate to say it, but there's a bro code where you're like, statute of limitations. Like, I've known you for countless years. So, it's not like, hey, I've known this girl for like 10, 12 years and I've only known you for like 3, 4 years. So you're my boy, but I've known her way longer than you. And we haven't really built that like bond where it's like, we went through a lot of shit together, like we grew up
yeah,
together, or we went to like school together and like grew up with all the same friends. And
yeah.
it's like, but I literally grew up with this kid. This kid came to my house several times. My mom literally took him when my mom was alive, took him under her wing and was like,
No
you know,
offense, man, but
you
like
can come.
when I met him off the rip, I hate to cut you off, but when I met him off the rip, it was like still like a little shady. That's why I called him Timmy, because I was just like I gotta call it how I see it because it's like, bro, like no disrespect, but like I don't know, like you just like you don't seem like you don't seem like how you really are. Like yeah, you knew Mike for a good amount of time. It's like I don't know, like just something like if push came to shove, like, are you really there? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
are you like, really willing? You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
Well, and I mean, shit, it is what it is, and that's basically what I chalked it up to. Was I was like, okay, like it is what it is. Like I'm never gonna be comfortable around you ever again. Like I'm never gonna see you the same like as my boy.
yeah,
Like I mean, I respect you as a human being, but I don't respect you as a like if you're in a crunch and you need help with like financial or you just need help like fixing your car, or whatever. I ain't gonna bat an eye. Like my priorities are with the people that have backed me up and been there for me and haven't done me wrong.
yeah,
And I think that's why I reeled back from Ray too a bit was because after that whole Billy situation, I was like, I'll help you a bit, but only because I feel obligated to because you let me stay here.
yeah,
I'm only doing it, like when we went up in March. I'm only getting you groceries and buying the meat and stuff because you're letting me stay here.
yeah.
Like I feel
Well,
obligated
that
to.
was like the thing when like we were it was just me and Ray, and then you went to do the thing with uh your significant other, and Ray was just like, "Oh crap, like we forgot the buns," and I was just like, I mean, I could text Mike, but like Mike already like spend a good amount of money, so I don't know if he's able to like splurge that amount, and I don't really have the best funds right now. And that's when you texted me and you're just like, "Oh, you ever heard of sandwich
Sandwich
slices?" And I was
slices
just like,
like
dude,
bread.
and I texted you back, I was like, "Dude, like I'm fine with that. Like I don't fucking care. Like because like to be honest with you, like I just need bread. Like
Yeah,
I could literally like wrap a hot dog with sandwich slices and I'm good to go. Give me ketchup and I'm straightforward."
yeah,
But like I think he was like thinking it in that aspect of like, oh, like like, oh, we got this and that, but like, oh damn, like forgot the buns, and it wasn't the end of the world, but it was just like, dude, we could just get slices. Like I would hate for him to go out of his way and go to Hannaford's or Walmart, or I forgot where he went, and you
yeah,
know go get buns, where it was just like really, bro.
yeah.
Like,
But now and then, so that resulted in basically once I found that out, I confronted her about it and was like, no, like, I mean, you're gonna have to, I don't know. And then I messaged my aunt. I said, hey, listen, I just found this out. Like, I can't do this. It's like, this is not like, I
it's
don't,
it's
I
it's
don't
not
feel
what
like
it.
being here. It's not what I thought it was.
Yeah,
And so she came right that same day, picked me up, and brought me to her house and said you could stay at my house and until like things calm down, until we get her out and get her back home, and it'll be all right. We don't gotta worry about it, or you don't gotta worry about it. Like
yeah,
you just turned 18, like not even a month ago. So
yeah,
it's like, don't worry about it. Like, we'll figure it out. And then she actually paid for the plane ticket to send her back
yeah.
and paid for her extra, like boarding, like for her luggage and stuff, and sent her back. And then contacted her parents and told her parents, like, hey, like, this is what happened. Like,
This is what's going on.
yeah, this is what's going on. Being a respectful parent to another parent. I bought a plane ticket. I'm sending your kid back. She'll be at the airport. She needs to be picked up. She was supposed to be dating my nephew and claimed that she was only friends with my nephew, but then she proceeded to move in with him, and then he was on the assumption they were dating. They got intimate, and that was the assumption. Then he found out that when he thought they were dating, she was sleeping with another dude, and just it didn't work out. And so I got her a plane ticket. She's coming back. She'll be in Manchester. She will be like, you could pick her up. Like, at least I got her back to the city that she lives in.
Yeah,
It ain't like, Manchester Airport's far from,
yeah. No,
Manchester itself.
it's not. Yeah, no.
I mean, it could have been so much worse. She could have been like, "Oh,
In
I flew her into
Boston.
Boston. Like, you got to get her back from Massachusetts."
Yeah,
So I mean, been there, done that. When we came for the wedding, we had to fly into Boston because our plane got messed up. But anyways, yeah. So she got flown back, and I mean, it was never the same again. Like I even kept in touch with Tyler even when I started dating Sierra. It was like Tyler came around and we hung out a couple more times, and I tried to kind of keep it like
Cordial.
cordial. But then he would stop messaging me, and then he was like, it was too much of a chore for him to come like from Concord to Manchester, and he was like, oh well, my mom's getting annoyed with me borrowing the truck and keeping it out all day. So I can't really do the 30-minute trip and then hang out all day and then go back. Like, and I'm like, dude, why don't you get your own car? You have a job. You've been working at KFC for years with your mom. Like, you and your mom apparently work at KFC together, and it's so great. And you were like loving it and talking all the good stuff about it. And I'm like, save up some money and get yourself like a beat up car, at least to get you from point A to point B. You only
Yeah,
gotta
it
make
doesn't
30.
require too much of a credit, especially if you never even,
Yeah.
you
And
know.
I don't even know if to this day he has a car or not. So it's like, but I never kept up with him
Yeah,
because I'm like, I've
at that
tried.
point,
And then even then, like I told him and like I told Sierra, I said, like, I don't feel comfortable like with you being around my girl. And I told Sierra, I don't feel comfortable with you being around him because there's history. There's
yeah,
bad blood.
yeah,
I'm like, there'll always be that bad blood. And I'm like, it's it is what it is.
yeah.
So
I'm like, I swear, like, I hold it to this day. I'm like the only one that never really, like, got with any.
well, now that you mention it, yeah, pretty much because I mean Matt technically didn't either because I mean I didn't at the time. Sierra wasn't with me. She wasn't like my girl
Yeah,
at the time when he was involved with her. But I guess you could say you're the only one that didn't get involved with any like whatsoever.
I'm the
Like
only
you
one
didn't
that
have any connection to any of the girls I've
I
been
never
with.
got your sloppy seconds.
Yeah, and I never got your sloppy seconds. Like we never crossed paths when it came to girls,
Yeah,
other than that Paige thing. But I didn't date Paige,
yeah.
so I mean, it wasn't like like
I mean, I never got sloppy seconds with Matt or
Ray.
I mean, shit.
But
Yeah,
Ray didn't really go after anybody. I mean, Ray talked about screwing his neighbor and pussy was pussy, and then suddenly that never happened. You know.
yeah. Even that time, that chick, remember Abby,
Mm-hmm.
that he was like definitely trying to like get with and stuff like that. I'm not gonna lie, like I was
On the
like,
bus, yeah.
like she was pretty attractive, but like she had like like the nice
Yeah,
and stuff like that,
which
and
was abnormal for middle school to be already knocking those
Like,
out.
like yeah, and it was just like for her to like say some shit like that. It's like, oh, I don't like date Spanish people, and it was just like, oh,
Whoa! It was like,
okay. I'm like, all right. I'm like, if that's your preference, like that's fine and shit like that. And then I know Ray caught some fade about that, and he was just like, first of all he was already into her, but like for him to like get rejected, not only just like just on a normal
outright,
base,
but
but then on a race type base he definitely took that like to initiative, and he was just like, yo, like nah, like fuck that bitch and shit like that. Especially when she came to our yard sale, and she was just like, oh, like, do you know what time is that? I'm like, yeah, it's 1:30. Go fuck yourself.
and then he was the same thing. He's like, why don't you get the fuck out of here? And I was like, damn. So some people just don't have any like common sense or common decency,
Yeah,
especially like even when you're like that. I could kind of like you're in middle school, you're gonna say shit that you probably shouldn't
yeah,
be
but the fucked
saying.
up thing is that she ended up dating a Puerto Rican dude,
Yeah.
a Spanish dude, like
Well,
literally like
I
right
mean,
after, and it was just like,
you know how many things I said that y'all were like, that's kind of borderline like racist sounding, or that's kind of borderline screwed up, or when topic all the time we bring up when I spit in your face. I mean, we've done stuff back in like elementary, middle school, even early high school, where we look back and we're like, dude, that was stupid as hell. Like,
yeah,
you're stupid. If I could come back and smack the crap out of you. And then, I mean, after you get out of high school, you're like, how do I make it better? How do I fix it?
Yeah.
And all you can hope for is that when you were in middle school or high school, you didn't do something that was so bad that, you hurt someone internally. And like you said, me and you never crossed that path where it was like, we got to, no, you didn't get my sloppies, I didn't get your sloppies, you know, I didn't get, well, I didn't get Matt's sloppies. He didn't get mine. You didn't get Matt's sloppies. He didn't get yours. Wait, no. Yeah, you did. Because Liz. Y'all crossed paths with Liz.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, Liz and Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Liz and Cheyenne. But like, actually, not like technically, he got my sloppy sex because
Yeah.
I dated
Cheyenne
Cheyenne.
first.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then Cheyenne, she was like kind of doing her own thing, and Matt kept on coming
He was
over, and so
trying hard
yeah,
to
he
like
he
get
was
with her.
he was trying hard, and then I was also
And all he got was
trying
like,
hard too.
all he got was like, apparently he got like a boob grab or he got to like see her boobs. And then he was like after she rejected him and was like, no, he was like, oh, they're hairy. And then that's where that whole thing came out with
Shy man.
Cheyenne's hairy man boobs, stuff like that. And then I was like, and then the prank phone calls and like saying that shit. She got one time someone said it and she got so pissed, like it slipped out nearby her, and she was like, "Who the fuck said that?" And I was like, "Jesus Christ!" I'm like, people are fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I'm like, we're all like, it's a human thing. You're gonna grow hair no matter where, whether you're male or female. It's gonna
yeah.
grow there. The whole that's why tweezers were invented. Like,
Tweezers, shavers,
yeah,
wax.
like you just caught her when she didn't,
Yeah,
maintain her body. So I mean, does it suck? Yeah, because it's a little awkward because you're like, oh, but I mean, it's kind of like, if my wife didn't shave her legs and I was like, damn, like we were cuddling, watching this movie, Netflix and chill, and your freaking legs prickled me. It's
yeah,
like, come on. But yeah, no, I mean, and to wrap it up, I mean, it ended up not working too much, going through my head, being a young teenager at 18. I mean, adult, young adult. Um, Going through that breakup, going through like that drama with, losing my friend that I had known for a really long time over, you know, something that simple that I was like you said, I would think a guy would be like, I'm intoxicated and, she's really hot. I'm not going to lie, you're cute, but the reality is like, I know your man. I don't know her man.
yeah,
So this is wrong. So I need to tell you, no, like this isn't gonna work. Like you need to go on out of here. Like, or you need to like stay on your side of the tent and like not fucking touch me.
yeah,
And it just didn't work out that way. And I mean, I ended up moving back. My family was very upset at me, called me ungrateful, all kinds of things, and that whole thing blew up. And then everybody came to bat with like, what's wrong with him moving back? Like, what's wrong with New Hampshire? What's wrong with like all that? And it was like, it was kind of funny to watch because I was like, y'all are stupid. Like,
yeah,
all my aunt, well, not really my aunt because my aunt didn't really say anything, but my cousins and all that were like, you're ungrateful, da, 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 da. And I'm like, I don't owe you anything. There's no obligation. Like, I came down here, like, willingly. Like, at any moment, like, even when my mom passed away, my aunt could have sold the place, like, outright just sold the place. I wouldn't have felt any type of way. Like, I
yeah,
wouldn't have been like, oh, you're a bitch for selling my mom's house. You should have gave it to me.
yeah,
Like, that's not my place. Like, my mom didn't own that house. My aunt owned that house, and then she owned it so she could help my mom, but my mom didn't own it, so I'm not entitled to anything.
Yeah.
You know, unfortunately, my mom wasted everything away and didn't leave me anything. So it
Yeah.
is what it is. I mean, I can't blame my aunt. I gotta blame my mom and myself. You know,
Yeah.
gotta be self efficient. But yeah, no, that's basically the gist of that. That ended. We moved on. Um, and the writing on the wall. To finish this up, we went way over. Is it was Sierra.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
It wasn't Chrissy. It was Sierra.
Yeah.
So
That's
after
what I
that
meant.
whole Chrissy thing, I moved back and I started hanging out with Sierra because Matt had a birthday. Sierra happened to be there. Then we started talking more. I met Zach and I can't Quinn, and then it was like, you know, it was so freaking weird because at the time, like, I'm not gonna lie, Sierra was like a little like like a whore almost, because it was like Quinn was talking to her, and they were kind of like she was being flirty with him, and then Zach was talking to her, and she's being a little flirt, like kind of like you said, where like
Flirtatious.
yeah, flirtatious, kind of like what's her name was being um Tyler's Sarah,
Oh.
kind of like how Sarah was being flirtatious to everybody. She was doing the same thing, and I was like, I mean, and I hold this to her to this day. I'm like, honestly, you put this like when you first started off, you were like, oh, like it was a competition, like the best man that impresses you gets the like win, and I'm like, I mean, I guess I did it, and I feel great that I was able to do it, but I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, kind of should be kind of embarrassed of that because it's kind of it would be embarrassing for me to be like, and people would look at me like I'm a man whore and like a piece of crap for making women like chase after me and like hurting like the other women's feelings because I went with the woman that I thought looked better and like listened better and did this better just because it's like
Yeah, but at the end of the day, you gotta do what's best for you.
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's pretty much just how it is. You always gotta look out for you.
Yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you're the one that you lay yourself with. You're the one that dictates what you want to do, whether you don't want to do it or whether you do want to do it. That's completely up to you. And I feel like people kind of forget that upon
yeah.
themselves that they feel like they're so obligated to do certain things. Like no, like you don't owe anybody anything. And the funny thing is that like you think people fucking care. Like no, like if you don't do that, guess what?
Someone
No
else will.
one will give a fuck.
Well, that too. No one will give a fuck, or someone else will go and do it, and
Yeah,
then guess what? No one will give a fuck about that either.
yeah, because
And
it
like,
at the end of the day, like it, this is the harsh reality. Like nobody really gives a fuck. Yeah, you could post up these videos. You did like nice PR, or you got like this nice like like outfit that you got at like fucking like Charlotte Rouge or whatever the fuck. It don't matter. Like okay, like you're gonna get those likes. You're gonna get those comments. You're gonna get
all
positive
things
comments. You're
die
gonna
at some
get
point.
yeah, at the end of the day, like what I'm saying, like the only opinion that matters is yourself. You can't take anyone else's opinion and think that like like oh like I gotta impress this person and stuff
Yeah,
like that. Oh, if there's anyone that you should be trying to
it's
impress is
yourself.
yourself.
Yeah,
That's the only person you need to really try to impress. That's the only person you need to you know really look at and be like oh like today I'm gonna do this and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't own up to your word, whatever like that, again, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? Don't you can't bash yourself up about it, but you can't uh, blame everybody else. About it's like oh well I was gonna do this, but this happened and that happened and stuff like that. It's like oh, yeah, all right, like all that happens, like but you still have like some time left over, so you still can do that. Or if you don't want to do that, then just save it for tomorrow, whatever, like that, Because when you start putting too much, like weight on your shoulders and shit like that, it's very overbearing.
yeah.
So,
There's a difference between putting in effort to communicate and work things out, and there's putting in so much effort to the point where you bend and you snap, you end up snapping, or you put too much effort in and it's like the other person's not putting in barely any. It's not 50-50 anymore. It's like 70-30 or 80-20. It's
Yeah.
like it's got to be like you both got to be putting in effort. I mean, there's times where yeah, you will have to put in more effort to compensate for the other person, not being able to, and then vice versa. But for the most part, you both should be trying to put effort in.
True.
And like you said, the effort's about yourself. Take care of yourself so you can take care of others.
Exactly. But that's definitely gonna do it for this conversation convo combo, and we will be back with you guys sooner or later. Enjoy your weekend. Peace.